Today we are joined by Blake Griffin on behalf of Wayfair.com. Blake, last night was NBA draft lottery night, aka conspiracy theory night. So with that said, Blake, I know you have a flair for some humor. Do you have any favorite conspiracy theories with the NBA? Because clearly everybody has one.
Favorite conspiracy theories with the NBA. I think the first one I think I ever really remembered was the Patrick Ewing to the Knicks.
The frozen envelope.
Yes, exactly. That I would definitely like remember that being sort of like the first one, and that was like the first time I was like, oh, maybe there's something to this. Last night was insane. I mean, that like. It's almost so crazy that you're like, this can't be a conspiracy theory. Like, it can't be. It's too crazy of a situation. But man, if I'm Cooper Flagg, I'm excited. Like that's a great place to go play for your first team.
Yeah, I mean, you being the number one pick and then having to sit out your first year, I can imagine that only ratcheted up like anxiety, anticipation, a little bit of pressure. Like, what is that like being the number one pick and knowing that you're being drafted as a franchise sort of savior?
I mean, well, it's an honor. It's definitely something like you grow up thinking about. You grow up like you want that chance, that opportunity. Sitting out was definitely like it just like ate at me. And of course, with the Clippers at the time, all I was hearing was about all their other number one picks that didn't work out. I was hearing about Greg Oden. I was hearing about like that's all I heard for a year. And so it almost helped me stay focused even more, just because I was like, I can't let this happen. I can't, I have to get back. I have to lock in. So in a way like that pressure, I think helped me just sort of like, stay on that path and stay focused during rehab, because, rehab can be super tedious at times.
Yeah, no, rehab is never fun. I think that's the thing that people don't think about when they think about a player being hurt. They just think he's chilling when rehab is like not fun at all. Yeah. It's funny, Blake, I go back to your draft. I think of the Anthony Davis draft. I think of, a few other, clearly the Victor Wembanyama drafts. When you come in with a lot of hype and everybody know that you're going to be like the number one pick, like we believe Cooper Flagg to be, like, is there any sort of like advice that you would give him if you were to pull his coat and pull him aside a little bit?
Honestly, as corny as it may sound, like it's just enjoy it. Like this is the beginning of your career. Like the actual like process, like enjoy the process, because it goes by super fast. But it's also like, especially for younger guys, and I did this, but you want everything right away. You want to you want to experience, the first game. You want to experience everything. You want to be a complete player, but it's like such a marathon. Like your career, like for these guys, like the Cooper Flaggs, the Victors, like those guys are gonna have long careers, hopefully. And it's hard to not want to do everything right away. And I always tell like younger guys as well, like, remember like what got you here. Like you hear like, oh, this guy can't do this, or everybody hears about their weaknesses and they try to prove people wrong. But like at the same time, when you're in that situation, like don't shy away from what you're good at. Like keep doing those things, work on the other things, but be yourself. So that's kind of like the I don't know, the one thing I always tell like my younger guys, my younger players, even like high school players, like if there's something that you're really good at, like make sure you keep doing that well and make sure you keep working on the other parts of your game.
No, that makes sense. I think I feel like that's the analyst part of you coming out. I'm gonna get to that in a minute. But last night I also thought about Giannis Antetokounmpo and him basically opening the door to exploring whatever his future may be. And it made me think about you a little bit. Like you're almost like the most recent test case of player who extended with his team and then was traded. Had you known that you were going to get moved a few months after you extended, like, would you have taken a Giannis sort of like approach to your own situation and say, let me explore and see what's out here before I just sign and commit to the franchise that drafted me. Like, what comes up for you when you think about sort of almost like the other side of player empowerment, so to speak?
Yeah, I can't really say that like if I could do it all over again, I would do it differently. I made the right decision at the time. Um, but it is sort of a sensitive thing for players because if a player decides to explore their options, it's it can get a little weird between fans. But if a team decides to move on, it's usually not really in the Luka case, but if a team decides to move on from somebody, it's usually kind of like, yeah, it sucks to see him go, but whatever. So I can't really say that I would have done anything differently. I think at the time that was the right decision. The other options I looked at, and it was staying. Thought I was staying at the place I'd been. And I really enjoyed my years in Detroit. So yeah, I can't say that I would change anything.
No, that makes sense. And now you mentioned Cooper, he's walking in to replace, theoretically, if they keep the pick and they pick him and everything else, he's going in to replace the first guy that they thought, or the second guy behind Dirk, that they thought was going to be staying there forever. Like, that's a different level of pressure that I would say that could be the case for Cooper Flagg, right?
Yeah, I mean, I saw somebody talking about like should the Mavs move the pick. I think that's a terrible idea. But to be fair, I also thought moving Luka for that was also a bad idea. So, yeah. Why would you? I don't think you trade that pick at all. I think adding Cooper Flagg to Anthony Davis to Clay to Kyrie when he's healthy, like that team is good.
Yeah,
I think Cooper's going to be like impactful right away. That's a very, very good team. I know Nico was watching that draft lottery like, come on, please. I need this. You need this so bad.
He prayed to the lottery. He got his lottery conspiracy theory off last night. Yeah. That's what that
was. He got added to the list.
Yeah, number one. He's number one right now. That's what that is. He's number one on the lottery conspiracy.
I wonder what the Dallas fans are like thinking right now. Like, are they? Do you think they ease up off of him a little bit?
Absolutely not. They're afraid he's going to trade that pick to the Lakers for Austin Reeves.
For Rui Hachimura.
Yes, that's what they think. And a bag of beans or something like that. They are afraid that Nico is getting worked right now by Rob Pelinka on the phone. And they're meeting up in some coffee house.
That's so good. Nico's like, you need another washing machine.
No, I hope not. Let's just say that for Nico's sake, hopefully he gets him. He better do the right thing.
Yeah.
No, but on a serious note, Blake, I was on the airplane last night when the Jayson Tatum injury happened, so I was only able to follow it through Twitter. Like, what goes through your mind when you see something like that?
I'm just sick for him, seeing him getting wheeled off, and like I think the hardest part when you see that happen is not you see the physical pain that somebody's in, but you see it all hit them, and they realize and you can kind of tell like how bad an injury is. Sometimes people get wheeled off and they come back in the game, but not in that situation. I felt sick for him. Like seeing him get wheeled back in the back, you could see he was visibly upset. That's when it sucks. Because I've been in that position, man, where it's like sometimes you just break down and you're just like why right now? Why me? You kind of have to have that moment where you feel sorry for yourself, and then you have to get rid of it and move on. But I mean, the Celtics are still like a good team, and
yeah,
I'm not saying they're gonna come back and win, but I do think that like they can. They can still make it a good series.
They should be. Like, they've had these large leads in every game.
Yeah.
And maybe that comes back to bite them in game 5. If they get another large lead, it'll kind of be a self-fulfilling prophecy. But you look at them, is this one of those like gut check times for that franchise coming up in game 5 and maybe a game 6 to show collectively what they can do even without their best player?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, if I was in that locker room, that's what I would be, preaching to everybody. I'm sure that's what Al, Horford's telling guys. I'm sure JB, will play sort of with that chip on his shoulder. And I mean, listen, they have plenty of guys who are like playing capable of stepping up and filling that void. There's still a great defensive team. So I'm interested for Game 5. I'm sick for JT, sick for the Celtics too. I mean, I think it's always demoralizing. I mean, we had that experience when we played Miami in Game 7 in 2023. JT rolled his ankle 2 minutes in. And even then we were like, okay, we still got it. We still got this. And, those situations are just, they're not fun.
No, I mean, you've been there. You've gone against the Celtics in the playoff series. You've been with the Celtics in the playoff series. You know the collective sort of character of that team and of that franchise. On the other side, the Pacers have seemingly sort of come out of nowhere again, even though they were in the Eastern Conference Finals last year. Is their ceiling just going to the conference finals, assuming they beat Cleveland? They're up 3-1. Is their ceiling being just the team against the New York Knicks, or are they playing so well that you can see them winning this entire thing?
I think I can see them winning the East. Like they're playing with like a level of confidence. Like they have absolutely zero regard for Cleveland's defense. They're just like, no, we'll just keep playing. Like that game was a Game 2 where they were down 15,
Game 2.
12, whatever, the whole game, and just like they just kept chipping away. And then the Knicks kind of did the same thing, but like I just feel like they're playing in a place. They're in a place as a team where they're just confident. They're having so much fun. Like you can see it on their faces. There's like joy to that basketball, and I think when you play with joy, it like truly shows in the form of them picking up 3-1 on the best, the team with the best record in the East. They keep playing like this. I could see them beating like the Knicks. I could see them. I don't think they will, but you could see it.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I don't know.
Blake, I could see them beating the Knicks. Like they beat the Knicks last year. I know it's a different team, but Rick Carlisle is a hell of a coach. And I feel like in the playoffs, a coach can take away a game from you because he can coach a little tight, or coach with his adjustments and just his overall demeanor and confidence can win you a game by strategy and instilling life into
100%. 100%. Rick Carlisle is that good. Sorry. That sounds like a little siren come by. New York City, man. This is going on outside, guys.
It's always a siren.
Yeah. Just had to address that.
No, but you were just saying about Rick Carlisle, him being that type of coach.
I mean, Rick Carlisle is one of, I would say, probably 5 coaches in the NBA that are true game changers. Like brilliant basketball mind. And you're seeing, it's fun to watch Indiana play because they're just playing so free. I think they're one of the most free playing teams left in the playoffs right now. Like, and then the other thing that I kind of noticed, like this playoffs, like all the teams that are left, like they're teams that are willing to be coached, like they accept coaching, and and they like it shows in the way they play. Like Knicks, Clippers, Bucks, Denver, like all these teams like have great coaches and they accept coaching. And I think you're like you're like hopefully that's sort of like the movement of the NBA right now with all these like younger guys coming in who are accepting coaching and playing really, really hard. Like I think this is like the most physical I've seen the playoffs in the last like
by far.
Yeah, like maybe 5-6 years. I'm trying to think back to like when's the last
I have to go back to when you guys were battling the Spurs and you guys were battling the Grizzlies. You and Zebo, y'all left each other with scars.
We were wrestling. Like it wasn't basketball. Before every game, I was just like, all right, here we go. Like I guess I'm just gonna fight for 48 minutes. Yeah, but it's been. I think you're seeing. The ratings are through the roof for the playoffs. Like I think hopefully it's eye opening to guys. It's like playoff time, like you got to bring it. There's no more. Like,
It's a different sport.
Yeah.
It's a totally different sport. It
100%.
feels like.
And to the refs' credit, I think they're doing a pretty good job of figuring out how to ref those games. Because I remember, like, when I first came in, I remember hearing vets, like, all the time be like, yo, playoffs totally different, playoffs totally different. And until you experience it, you can't really figure it out. And boy, when you go to those playoff games and you're just like wrestling for, 36 minutes, it's a completely different game. Completely different.
Yeah, and I think people like it. You know what I mean? I think the fans really like it and they get into it. So it's fun. Blake, you are now going to be a member of the Amazon Prime NBA team. Taylor Rooks, Dirk Nowitzki, Candace Parker, Udonis Haslem, Dwayne Wade, all part of that pregame, halftime, postgame cast. How excited are you to do this? Like, you sound like you can talk basketball with anybody. You're talking about basketball with me right now. Like, how excited for this are you?
I'm very excited. I think the voices around the NBA pre-half and post shows have sort of been very similar. They've been kind of the same thing. And the TNT guys are great, but I'm really excited to sort of build this, together with Taylor and Dirk and Udonis and Candace, just because like we're all pretty fresh out of the game, and I think it's important to have like voices that are
that can relate.
Yeah, exactly.
To relate today's game.
I mean, you know how much the game has changed. I was just like doing some. I was looking up stats and sort of trying to figure out, the Celtics 48.5 threes per game this year. So I was like, man, when did that like really change? So I was going back. The Golden State Warriors shot like 31.6 threes a game in
the first year,
2015-16, when they won.
Mm-hmm.
That would be dead last in today's NBA.
By far dead last.
Denver shoots like 32, I think. I think that would they were the least. But like, the way the game changes, like you have to be, current enough, and I also think like celebrating the game and celebrate. Like, we didn't hear enough about Cleveland this year. I know you and I, as basketball fans, like true NBA fans, we know what's going on, but like I think the average NBA fan, like Cleveland wasn't getting covered enough. Like, sure, Shea got his shine this year, but there's so many more storylines than just Knicks, Boston, Lakers, Warriors. You know what I mean? And I think they've done a disservice to the rest of the NBA by not celebrating everybody.
Sounds like you're going to inform and educate and entertain at the same time.
That's the plan. I mean, I think like some actual analysis. This is obviously very important, but just like entertaining. Bringing a perspective that you don't get to hear often, I think is the most important thing.